Have you ever heard the saying, what goes around, comes around? It's one of those phrases we hear all the time, but do we ever stop to think about what it really means? It suggests that the energy we put out into the world, whether it's positive or negative, eventually finds its way back to us. Today, I want to share a story that brings this idea to life in a powerful way. A story about a simple act of kindness and a moment that changed everything. Picture this: a bustling city restaurant on a Friday night. The air is filled with the clatter of plates, the murmur of conversations, and the aroma of delicious food. Amidst the chaos is a young waiter named Leo. He's been on his feet for hours, juggling orders, refilling drinks, and trying his best to keep a smile on his face, even as the pressure mounts. He believes in a simple philosophy: treat every person with kindness, no matter what. Into this busy scene walks a man in a sharp, expansive suit. He looks important, hurried, and a little bit annoyed with the world. He sits down at one of Leo's tables, barely making eye contact. Throughout his meal, he's demanding and dismissive. He snaps his fingers for attention, complains about the temperature of his water, and sends his steak back, claiming it's not cooked to his liking, even though it looks perfect. Leo handles it all with incredible patience. He remains polite, attentive, and never lets his smile falter. He brings a new steak, refills the man's water without being asked, and does everything he can to make the dining experience pleasant. He believes that maybe the man is just having a bad day, and a little bit of grace could make a difference. Finally, the man finishes his meal. He throws some cash on the table, just enough to cover the bill, but not a single cent for a tip. With a final, dismissive glance at Leo, he stands up and storms out of the restaurant, leaving Leo with an empty table and a reminder of how thankless his job can sometimes be. Leo's colleagues notice and shake their heads. "Don't let him get to you," one of them says. "Some people are just like that." Leo just sighs, clears the table, and gets ready for his next customer, holding on to his belief in kindness. Hours pass. The dinner rush subsides, and the restaurant begins to quiet down. Leo is finishing his shift, feeling tired but content. As he steps outside into the cool night air, he sees a commotion down the street. A small crowd is gathered, and someone is lying on the pavement. Without a second thought, Leo rushes over to see what's happening. On the ground, gasping for breath and clutching his chest, is the very same man from the restaurant, the man in the expensive suit. He had collapsed from a sudden heart attack. People are standing around, unsure of what to do, some just filming on their phones. But Leo doesn't hesitate. He'd recently taken a CPR and first aid course, and his training kicks in instantly. He kneels down, checks the man's pulse, and begins chest compressions. He instructs a bystander to call for an ambulance and keeps working, focused and determined, counting the compressions, breathing for the man, and fighting to keep him alive until help arrives. It feels like an eternity, but finally, the sound of sirens grows louder. The paramedics take over, stabilize the man, and rush him to the hospital. A few days later, Leo receives a message from the hospital. The man he saved wanted to see him. Hesitantly, Leo goes. He walks into the hospital room to find the man sitting up in bed, looking pale and much smaller without his powerful suit. The man's eyes fill with tears as he recognizes Leo. He tells Leo that the doctors said those first few minutes were critical. If Leo hadn't acted so quickly and confidently, he wouldn't have survived. In that moment, lying on the cold pavement, he realized who was saving him. It was the young man he had treated so poorly, the waiter he had disrespected and refused to even tip. The man learned a profound lesson that day, one that went far beyond the walls of a hospital room. He learned that the person you dismiss today might be the person you desperately need tomorrow. He learned that kindness isn't a transaction. It's a fundamental part of our shared humanity. Your wealth, your status, your suit, none of it matters when your life is on the line. What matters is the compassion of a stranger. This story is a powerful reminder for all of us. Treat everyone with respect. The barista who makes your coffee, the janitor who cleans your office, the person sitting next to you on the bus. You never know their story. You never know their struggles. And you certainly never know when your life might be in their hands. The kindness you give is never wasted. It's an investment in a better, more connected world. Because in the end, we all need each other. Thanks for watching. If this story resonated with you, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more content that makes you think. See you next time.